Honestly, I hadn't been doing that well, stuck at home without any jobs to do. Boredom, fear, frustration, cabin fever, despair, they're all really prevalent, and I also don't take winter very well. It's cold, it's dark, it's dead outside, there's no green, there's no color. It gets very depressing after a while. And in March in New York, we're still dealing with a lot of that deadness, and there's not even snow to cover it up at this point. I had to make something though, just for the sake of creating something.
Shoot. Embarrassing. Okay, there we go. I know how to put my camera together.
This may come as a surprise to some people, but I don't actually consider myself to be an artist. I think of an artist as someone who finds inner meaning in everything, and they're really emotional and overdramatic about it. I saw this a lot in photography classes. Yeah, I took this photo of this crushed old soda can in the trash because it made me think of how we discard things that once gave us pleasure. No, you didn't. You just forgot that the assignment was this morning. But I do understand the need to be creative and have some sort of creative outlet. When I don't have something to build or create, I kind of shrivel up. And it's been really hard in this quarantine when there's no weddings, there's no portraits to do. I'm looking for a way to make something. So I called my buddy Chris up, and he works for a local TV station that was doing video shots of nature scenes to intersperse amongst the broadcast of the constant COVID-19 bombardment with confusion and panic. I thought it was great that they were doing that. So Chris said, why don't you come along and we'll do some photos, we'll have some fun, we can explore some new areas and see what we can find out. Thanks for driving, Chris.
I haven't crashed us yet, at least you're still alive.
Just kidding, just kidding. I didn't really know what I wanted to make that day. I just knew that I wanted to at least get one photo that I would be really happy with. I decided to make a video about it too because I'm gonna try some more creative outlets, so here we are on YouTube trying to make some creativity happen.
Best and worst case scenario for this photo you're looking for today, go.
Best case scenario, I'm gonna say I get a photo that I would want to see on a 20 by 30 canvas in my living room. Like, would be the best case scenario.
We're not gonna harmonize or something?
That was beautiful. I was gonna say worst case scenario is that the highlight of the trip is that harmony that we just did.
That's my best case scenario, Joe.
Throughout the day, I found myself just enjoying the trip. For the first probably few hours, I didn't even take a single photo, but it was just fun not having an objective. Hanging out with a friend, going around the area, seeing what we could find.
What do you think the punishment is for being out during quarantine?
It's probably somewhere in between a slap on the wrist and instant execution. They just decide right there that you're guilty and then bam.
There's just like state troopers around with axes in their hands,
Yes.
ready to behead people who are outside.
I actually found myself really enjoying recording video throughout the day too. Some things didn't really come out that great. Some things were just for fun.
It just occurred to me that I didn't actually have the lav plugged in, so I've been just holding the mic up to you and pointing the phone at you, and it was just...
It made me feel better though. It made me feel more involved. Thank you.
needless gesturing with the microphone because...
Professional vloggers.
Oh yeah.
Peter McKinnon, here we come.
You have an actual objective today, like you have actual work to do. I'm just like trying to create something. You gonna do anything not work related? Everything he's doing is work
Joe,
related.
I'm a very good boy. Everything that I do is on the clock is for the company.
That's right. Hiking is always something that can clear my mind and always puts me in a better mood. I don't know what it is specifically about getting outside, exploring a new place, breathing in the fresh air, but it's freeing and it makes me feel more optimistic, more creative, and I just needed that this day.
You ever have one of those times where you decide, you know, I really like the fashion trends of the 90s and I definitely did not just rip my pants climbing up these rocks.
Hey, you know, it's a solution.
Yep.
Good
You know,
job.
it's really coming back. You know, I think that soon I'll get out some of my Jenkos and...
This is the COVID-19 look.
Yeah.
You need to have more flexible pants when you're climbing up rocks like this.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Joe.
It's worth exploring your local area because it turns out there's some places that I haven't even explored yet. This place is called Havanah Glen. Local state park, wasn't that big, it's not as well known, but I had never been there before, so there was still that aspect of adventure and exploration, and I got to share it with a good friend.
I've joined you.
Welcome to the club. I told you it's catching on.
Back to the 90s.
Yeah.
This wasn't an epic trip. There wasn't any near-death experiences or great adventures. It was just exploring a new area that I hadn't seen before. I knew there were some waterfalls, but I thought, you know, waterfalls, we'll just, it's waterfall.
I've never been here before. I didn't know this was even here.
Yeah, this is completely off my radar.
So I did find a photo. I had never been to this area before, and when we got to the end of the trail, it wasn't very long, there's a beautiful waterfall scene at the end. When I'm photographing a scene like that, I try not to get just the first shot that comes to mind, in the sense that you walk up on the trail, you see the waterfall, and oh, you gotta take the picture. Try to find some way to make it a little bit more difficult to take. In this case, I got really, really low down next to the water and used the streaming of the slow shutter speed water effects and this little square rock that was in front just to give it some foreground. And I really am really happy with this photo. This photo reminds me of the whole day. It reminds me of this day that I was free and I had a break from the panic and fear of not knowing where my business was going. It didn't matter this day. I could just go and I could just enjoy hiking and being with a friend and exploring and taking pictures and trying video out. Not every landscape photo that I've taken I actually enjoy looking at. To me, photos are memory triggers. I've taken some photos that I think were very beautiful, but I remember it being very crowded, or there was someone shouting behind me, or there was people pushing to get the same photo, and the memory is not that good. This photo though, it was a day of freedom. It was a hike. It was fresh air. It was being with a friend. It was an escape from the fear and the confusion and panic of everything that the world is shouting about right now. So when I look at this picture, I'm reminded of some peace and a break and a rest, and the fact that I can go out and I can do this again. And it gives me a really good feeling looking at this photo. The story of the day isn't epic, but it was happy and it was peaceful, and it was just what I needed in this time of confusion. I came back home feeling so much more life in me. I wanted to keep making stuff. I was more positive. I was more optimistic. Just from getting out and just doing something, even though I didn't know what I was going to do with what I was seeing that day. Just getting out helped so much. I think one of my favorite parts is actually when I got home, my daughter, Jade, who's 2 months old at this point, she was fussy and she had been home with mommy, and I said, okay, well let me take her, and I sang her some songs and she calmed right down as soon as I started singing to her and holding her. That makes for a good day. I've already found that a 2-month-old baby actually knows very well how you're feeling and reflects your emotions. So to see her calm down and be happy when I came home and held her, it confirmed that I was doing a lot better. So I've got to keep doing this. I don't know what other kind of videos I'm going to be making, but I'm enjoying it, and it's breathing some life back into my world, so I want to keep going. So it turns out I can't completely shut off the business entrepreneur inside of me, and I did take this photo and think, boy, this is pretty good. I wonder if people would buy it. So it is also for sale, because I'm still an entrepreneur. I'm still trying to pay the bills. So this is up for sale at joehai.com/shop, where you will find a lot of my other landscape work as well. If you like something, consider buying a print. It would make me very happy. It would make you very happy, so we all win. Okay, sales pitch over. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. I think you can do a couple other things. I'm still a little new to this. You can like, you can subscribe, and there's something about a bell. So if you see a bell, click it, see what happens. Probably wonderful things. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.